It takes a lot to be a professional athlete. You gotta be physically fit, you gotta be fast, you gotta have sheer will and determination, but you also gotta have a little bit of smarts. And the guys we're talking about today, well, they got a lot of smarts. While the NFL does have quite a few of these stereotypical dumb jocks running around, the majority of the players in the league are actually pretty smart. I mean, it takes a lot to keep up with an NFL playbook. Have you ever seen one of those things? To the untrained eye, they may as well be hieroglyphics. Just like with speed, strength, or any other attribute, there is a small fraction of NFL players who have taken their smarts to truly elite levels. So without further ado, let's take a look at the 10 smartest players in the NFL right now. Let's kick things off with a player who may not have been making the smartest decisions lately, in part due to his struggles with mental health, but there's no denying his intelligence. Former leader of the Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman. For starters, Sherman graduated second in his high school class with a 4.1 GPA, which, to be honest, I didn't even know GPAs went that high. Sherman took his academic prowess, synergized with his ability on the football field, and became the first Dominguez High School grad in 20 years to earn a scholarship to Stanford. The anecdotes about Sherman's smarts and diligence are endless. There was the time in high school he apparently made then USC and his future coach in the NFL, Pete Carroll, wait 2.5 hours for a recruiting meeting because Pete didn't want to leave class early. Not to mention his borderline photographic memory that he has used to his advantage on the field. Here's how he kind of explained it. I don't know if it's photographic, but I am able to recognize a lot of things, especially when you see them again or see them for the first time, Sherman said. When you see them for the first time on the actual field, but I've seen it on film multiple times, I'm able to recognize it, and I guess not everybody's able to do the same. Some of his detractors might say him saying this is just another example of the boisterous and outspoken cornerback overhyping himself. But his teammates have backed it up as well. For him to be able to recall that information, especially on the field playing, makes it so much easier for him to slow everything down, said Doug Baldwin, Sherman's teammate at Stanford and now with the Seahawks. When he shows that to me, it shows me the capabilities that he has, the intelligence, the cerebralness on the field. Attack on the 3.7 GPA he graduated Stanford with, and the proof is in the pudding. Sherman is certainly one of the smartest stars we've seen step foot on the NFL field. Sherman, however, isn't the only NFL player to have racked up rather impressive academic accomplishments to complement his athletic feats. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones, Buffalo wide receiver Jamison Crowder, and Jets offensive lineman Laken Tomlinson have all graduated from the prestigious Duke University. Starting with the latter, Tomlinson, whose academic feats are perhaps the most impressive of the bunch. At Duke, Tomlinson was pre-med the second he showed up on campus, having completed his requirements beforehand. And he pursued and completed a double major in psychology and evolutionary anthropology, snagging 4 all-academic ACC honors along the way to boot. In addition to his already sizable responsibilities as a student-athlete at Duke, Tomlinson took steps to further his medical education, shadowing Dr. Carlos Bagley, a neurosurgeon at Duke University Hospital for a summer. Talk about dedication! It's something Tomlinson credited to watching his immigrant father humbly transition from a career as an architect in Jamaica to one as a security guard when he moved the family to the US when Laken was just 9 years old. He has been impressive since breaking into the NFL in 2015, both on the field and off. So we better not doubt him when he says he plans to become a neurosurgeon once he finally hangs up the cleats. Moving on to Crowder, the wideout graduated from Duke in December of 2014 with a degree in sociology, a minor in African and African American studies, not to mention some added practicality with a certificate in markets and management. And he wasn't just a C's get degrees kind of guy either. Crowder also earned academic All-ACC honors, which, considering the challenging topics he studied and his school's competitive reputation, is no small feat. The now 7-year NFL vet has regularly shown his intelligence on the gridiron throughout his career. There are few wide receivers that understand how to digest what an opposing defense is doing, and perhaps more importantly, capitalize on it by finding the correct pockets in the zone to settle into. It is this ability that has helped the 5'8" Crowder have such a lengthy and accomplished career, despite never having possessed the top-level speed that most undersized wideouts in today's NFL seem to have. Jones also earned academic All-ACC honors, and he did so en route to earning an economics degree at Duke, which was the #1 ranked undergraduate program when he applied. The QB also reportedly had his pick of the litter when he was looking at colleges, and could have attended Harvard or Princeton, which are two insanely prestigious universities. But the Charlotte native opted for Duke, perhaps because it provided a more competitive football program, and probably because it was a lot closer to home. While we're talking about quarterbacks and Harvard, this list would be utterly incomplete without including Ryan Fitzpatrick, who, stop me if you've heard this before, went to Harvard. I know it's become a tired talking point because every time Fitzy's on the field, the broadcasters can't seem to help but revisit his alma mater. Perhaps because his intellect is so hilariously juxtaposed to his outer appearance, and really his reckless playing style, but I digress. Fitzpatrick earned a degree in economics at Harvard, which, standing by itself, might be enough to get him on this list. But he has a bevy of accomplishments that point to his true intellect. The journeyman quarterback is believed to have scored 48 on the Wonderlic test ahead of the NFL draft, and scored an insane 1580 out of 1600 on the SATs, which I guess explains the whole him going to Harvard thing. And perhaps most impressively, to me at least, Fitzpatrick learned how to solve a Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes, then taught his young son Brady how to do it. Looks like the smarts runs in the family. I wonder if the explosive right arm will too. Rounding out the quarterbacks on the list, we have two guys on the opposite end of the career spectrum. Los Angeles Chargers rising star Justin Herbert and Tampa Bay Bucks QB, the man who needs no introduction, Tom Brady. Both Herbert and Brady went to and graduated from well-respected colleges. Brady's alma mater, the University of Michigan, has the slight edge over Herbert's Oregon. But when you get down to the numbers, you have to give Herbert his due. After all, he was a 3-time academic All-American and even earned the 2019 William V. Campbell Trophy, which is colloquially known as the Academic Heisman. And he very much earned it too, finishing with a degree in biology and a 4.0 GPA to boot. Brady was not exactly a slouch either. I mean, completing a general studies degree with minors in psychology and business administration and a 3.3 GPA is no small task. But Herbert's academic resume is undeniably more impressive. Academics is just a portion of smarts though, and while it's tough to compare the two because Brady is a 44-year-old man with a wealth of experience and connections while Herbert just turned 24 and is correctly focused solely on the football field right now, but Brady's business acumen has to be taken into consideration when you're looking at his overall intelligence. To put it simply, Tom has put his massive over $300 million career earnings to very good use, founding a number of successful business ventures as well as a plethora of partnerships and endorsement deals. In addition to what is probably his most well-known venture, his TB12 health and wellness company that covers everything from supplements to one-on-one consultations. Brady is also involved in the NFT world and even founded his own apparel line, Brady, earlier this year. And that's not even taking into account the fact that Brady was able to leverage a $375 million deal with Fox Sports despite not even being retired yet. I understand that a lot of his financial success is tied back to his ability to throw a football and win games, but having reached such astronomical heights in so many facets of business simply cannot be ignored. Now, it isn't just the quarterbacks with the next-level NFL brains, though. How about one of Brady's former teammates, now a linebacker for the Los Angeles Chargers, Kyle Van Noy? Van Noy has been outspoken about his intelligence on the football field, going as far as calling himself one of the smartest players in the NFL. I do a lot of study, the veteran linebacker explained. I listen to older guys when they talk to me growing up. As you get older, your athleticism may go down, but you can make up for it by knowing where to go and knowing what the other team is doing. And apparently, he's been this sort of analytical professional long before becoming a Super Bowl winning veteran in the NFL. During his college days at BYU, where he passed on the 2013 draft and likely missed millions of dollars to stay on campus his senior year and finish his history degree, it was much of the same. His head coach at the time, Bronco Mendenhall, said that when the team's linebackers coach, Kelly Papingo, was absent from practice, Van Noy would pop on his coaching cap and act as the de facto linebackers coach for the day. And according to Mendenhall, with Van Noy at the helm, the team wouldn't miss a beat. Van Noy's intelligence isn't just football X's and O's either. He regularly provides extremely insightful commentary, including comments he made on the Pat McAfee show back in 2021 regarding the impact that the COVID-battered 2020 offseason had on the rookies in the league, something that most folks in the media seem to just gloss over. A history degree from BYU may not be up to snuff when you talk about guys like Fitzpatrick earning degrees in economics from Harvard, but it is important to recognize good old-fashioned practical intelligence when you see it. That being said, the last two guys on our list completely transcend both academic and practical intelligence and are well on their way to profoundly impressive second careers. Josh Dobbs, a backup quarterback in the Cleveland Browns organization, graduated with honors from the University of Tennessee with a degree in aerospace engineering. During the 2020 offseason, Dobbs participated in an externship program at NASA where he worked with the engineers and took a crash course in space travel. He was placed in the Exploration Ground Systems program, a unit within NASA that is responsible for assembling, transporting, and launching rockets for government and commercial flight programs. Now, if that all sounds like mumbo-jumbo to you, don't sweat it. After all, it is literally rocket science, the colloquially used metaphor for incomprehensibility. Now, perhaps unsurprisingly, Dobbs explained the experience well, telling USA Today every single day was different. So I got a chance to learn kind of the ins and outs, everything that goes on, and how everything comes together to support the rocket on launch day. Not gonna lie, it's gonna be fascinating to follow along once Dobbs' playing days are done, and just see how far he gets in the aerospace world. Alright, and lastly, we have Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, the Canadian-born offensive guard who is the fourth ever NFLer to graduate med school, and the only one to do so as an active player. Truly a ridiculous feat that puts a whole new meaning on being a student athlete. The NFL strangely didn't seem too keen to promote his accomplishment, as they denied his petition to add his MD title to the back of his jersey upon graduation. His accomplishments off the field rival his exploits on it, which include helping the Chiefs to a Lombardi Trophy in 2019. You see, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Duvernay-Tardif opted out of the 2020 season to return home to Quebec and help combat the pandemic by working at CHSLD Gertrude Lafrance, a long-term care facility in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. I hope I pronounced that right. And if that wasn't enough, he also worked as a feature reporter for the CBC during the Winter Olympics, is a member of the NFLPA Health and Safety Committee, and was knighted by the National Order of Quebec. Whew, talk about a renaissance man. But who do you think is the smartest player in the NFL right now? Did we miss anyone? Join us in the comments section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.